Hello and welcome to State and Local Government and Politics. My name is Jim Toot and I'm an Associate Professor of Political Science at Central Virginia Community College. In Module 7, we'll discuss Executives, Part 1, Introduction, and the Governor. In 18th and 19th century state and local government, the executive was generally thought of in terms of elected leadership. A governor, a state attorney general, a mayor, or perhaps even a sheriff came readily to mind. The executive, therefore, was tied directly to elective office and was often directly accountable to the people via the voting mechanism. In the mid to late 19th and early 20th centuries, however, a major change began to take place in this area. The rise of what is called progressivism led to a concerted nationwide effort to clean up politics, particularly at the municipal level and over time at the state level as well. The term governor has many meanings. On a mechanical device, a governor is something that regulates the speed of a machine, often a complex process. The British, for some period, used the word when addressing someone worthy of respect. The word also refers to a military commandant, and more commonly, a governor is a head of state, a key actor in a governmental body. So, do all these definitions apply to our current topic, state governors? Well, a governor shapes the speed and direction of political debate. The governor is in fact a military commander. He or she does have the power to call up or activate the state National Guard in U.S. states. The office of governor is a key position of respect and is the ceremonial head of state as well as being a key actor in a larger governing process. Prior to the American Revolution, colonial governors served as executive leaders of a crown colony. In early colonial days, the powerful landowners chose governors, usually white men of wealth and social stature. The governor, along with a quasi-legislative council, led the colony in countless ways, managing resources, developing plans for sustainability and growth, maintaining civic virtue through the enforcement of laws, and making treaties or agreements with indigenous peoples and with other colonies. Governors also appointed individuals to help accomplish key tasks. As the British colonies became more developed, the Crown government played a much larger role in appointing governors and various administrative executives to serve as representatives of the home nation to collect taxes and assess fees and to generally enforce the will of the British monarch and his government on the colonists. In the colonial period, just as today, the governor is a key figure for innovative leadership, critical to establishing sustainable states and communities. The often tragic imperialistic interactions between indigenous peoples and colonists represent a sad chapter in the development of democratic government in our country. It is useful to imagine the circumstances faced by early colonists, moving from the familiarities of the continent of Europe to a place far less familiar and comprehensible to them. An inability on the part of the nation's early colonial governors to be successful innovators could have resulted in widespread disease and death among colonists and native tribes alike. Leadership then, as is the case today, is only as good as the ability of the leader to persuade others to follow him or her, and this ability is importantly shaped by a leader's personality. Popularity is one measure of the ability of a leader to persuade others to follow, to gain followers, and to gain their support for innovative ideas. Support can be particularly difficult to gain and maintain when promoting a vision of the future, a time and space unknown and often disturbing in consideration. Innovation requires, along with uncommon insight, boldness of action in the face of the unknown. The dire consequences of failed innovative executive leadership still exist, but new consequences have emerged. Mass starvation is perhaps less likely, but homeland security issues place the governor and his or her staff on the front line as the likely first responders to a crisis, man-made or brought on by the force of nature. In times of relative tranquility, a governor must do two principal things. A governor must serve as a chief administrator, managing the steady course of government towards various goals, and a governor must consider the future and identify areas where sustainability must be actively pursued. A governor will likely use his or her chief executive role, the role of head of state, to promote policy innovations that will better serve state and local sustainability efforts. In Part 2 of Module 7 on executives, we'll discuss terms of office and eligibility and term limits.